Snake, have you heard of the exciting news that's just come out?
No, what is it? Make it quick, I'm in the middle of something.
Well, David Hayter has relayed some interesting information. He's been in the booth and has hinted at playing a certain role with the gift of Big Boss.
Yeah, well, what does that have to do with me? He always gets the starring roles. I haven't been in many titles as him. It's kind of bullshit come to think about it.
Snake, relax. The voice box has some interesting information that might just be a chance for the younger generation one day to experience Shadow Moses in all of its glory.
Well, I'm all ears. Me and the voice bot go way back when we used to get drunk in Alaska. Patch him through the codec monitor and let's see what he has to say.
Hey, Snake, how long's it been? I've got some interesting intel for you, mate. Metal Gear Solid 1 is a game that forever changed the landscape of gaming. Released 26 years ago on the PlayStation 1, it has left a long-lasting legacy for a good reason. With its intricate storytelling, masterfully ambiguous characters, and gameplay that was unmatched at the time. Breaking the fourth wall, it pulled players into a cinematic gaming experience while exploring deep themes that made us question our very own existence. David Hayter, the iconic voice behind Solid Snake, has teased a potential return to the role that he played over a decade ago. In a controversial move, Metal Gear creator Hideo Kojima replaced Hayter with 24-star Kiefer Sutherland for 2015's Metal Gear Solid 5 The Phantom Pain. Hayter's last performance as Snake was in 2010 Metal Gear Solid Peace Walker. But could a comeback be on the horizon? Hayter's recent cryptic tweet hints at the possibility. As David is quoted saying, "I was in the booth today," he shared, "playing a role I have not played since," and he followed that up with a gif of Snake from the up-and-coming Metal Gear Solid 3 Delta. It really does look like something may be brewing. At first glance, it seems like Hayter is back in the booth to record Snake's voice for Metal Gear Solid Delta, the highly anticipated remake of MGS3. However, Konami has already confirmed that Delta will reuse the original dialogue audio from Snake Eater back on PS2, with all the cinematics being frame for frame and line for line, identical to the original. So what exactly is Hayter teasing? Fans have plenty of theories, and it could be a promotional work for Metal Gear Solid Delta or perhaps some extra content tied to the game. Another possibility is that Hayter is recording voice work for the up-and-coming fan film Sonic Villains, where he is meant to make an official cameo as Solid Snake. Given on Konami's statements, it seems unlikely this has to do with MGS3 Delta, unless of course they're planning to add new voice lines or re-record some dialogue due to issues with the software used to enhance the original recordings, but it's still a mystery for now. But one that definitely has the fans buzzing. It seems highly likely that Metal Gear Solid 1 will be the next remake after Metal Gear Solid 3 Delta. Considering Konami's timeline approach, they might even tackle Portable Ops and even Peace Walker, but to me it seems unlikely. However, both of these titles would need a major overhaul. They'd need to be rebuilt from the ground up for modern platforms. The voice acting in Portable Ops and Peace Walker is clear enough and they could reuse it, but the comic style cutscenes would need to be redone to match today's cinematic standards. Additionally, a proper voice lines for enemy soldiers during interrogations would also be essential, as the current mumbles and things that happen when we interrogate some of the enemies make no sense whatsoever.
Talk. Start talking.
But those two games on PSP could be completely reimagined whilst all keeping the elements that really make it work for it, including adding the controls on the lines of MGS5 to make it a more seamless stealth espionage experience. Because, for example, Peace Walker, as great as the game was, you could actually crouch walk in that game, but you actually couldn't crawl and you could only stay on the floor, which was a bit of an issue. Since Portable Ops and Peace Walker were originally on the PSP with comic-style cutscenes, remaking them would require a complete redesign of character models and entirely new motion capture for the character and animations. Not that they didn't have them before, but they're just not as advanced. The blueprints are there, but we're talking about years worth of development to even make any of this happen. Konami has to decide what's more important to the fans and the franchise, or simply focus on what's most popular. It'll be a tough call, but whatever comes next, it has to hit the mark. And don't forget, the people who are working at Konami have only got so long left before Metal Gear probably never gets worked on again, unless the younger generation can take over. Because Metal Gear Solid Portable Ops and Peace Walker are truly amazing games, and I would love to see them reimagined, but really, who knows?
Of death. Only you can free me.
Boggs, stay out of this. What about Naomi? She's hell-bent on taking revenge for you.
Naomi.
You're the only one who can stop her.
No, I can't.
Why?
Because I'm the one who killed her parents.
The beauty of Metal Gear Solid is not just in the story, but how the voice actors bring those characters to life within the story. Beside David Hayter, Greg Eagles absolutely nailed the role of Grey Fox, and he's still alive and kicking. It would be amazing to get the original team back together. It's worth noting that the original MGS1 voice recordings had issues due to poor studio setup, with external noises like traffic affecting the quality. Despite this, the performances were incredible, and would be even better by today's recording tech. And those emotional moments could shine even greater by today's tech. We had Metal Gear Solid The Twin Snakes, but it didn't quite capture the essence of the original. Some voice actors were different, and there were dialogue changes, along with a soundtrack that didn't match the aesthetic of the game. However, the voice acting wasn't bad. David Hayter, Cam Clark and others did a great job in reprising the roles. A remake could fix retcons like Dr. Clark or Paramedic being referenced as a man, when later confirmed to be a woman. But in MGS's information that is offering misleading its audience or misinterpreting things, it makes those retcons feel fitting in its world. Because even some of the characters in the game are widely misled, and even they themselves don't even have the full-on facts. While some elements of the game may have to be rebuilt from scratch, there's no reason why they can't take inspiration from its former. You know, they can make the controls just like they have within Delta, because in a way MGS Delta, whilst it takes a lot of inspiration from its previous title on PS2, it also has been reworked. Something that could be the same for Metal Gear Solid 1. A lot of the fan base expressed disappointment with the Twin Snakes in several areas. The remade environments felt bland, lacking the unique lighting and the tone of the original, and some fans just didn't like it was borrowing the gameplay of mechanics directly from MGS2. While opinions vary, the MGS2 controls definitely wouldn't hold up by today's standards either, especially in a remake. Everyone has their own take on it, but it's clear that Twin Snakes didn't quite live up to the expectations of many long-time fans. Revisiting Shadow Moses in MGS4 gave us a glimpse of how MGS1's remake could truly shine. Though we didn't explore every area from the original game like the commander's room or the weapon storage basement, the blueprint is there for something bigger. Imagine a semi-open world like Ground Zeroes where we can backtrack through expanded environments like before, and with the genome soldiers enhanced by Big Boss's DNA, stealth could become more of an intense challenge to sneak around these enemies with perhaps new AI mechanics. And not only would it be more thrilling to sneak around an expanded Shadow Moses, but by pushing the limits of stealth, a remake could redefine the tactical elements that made MGS1 so legendary. The idea of genome soldiers being more aware, more tactical, and harder to bypass would add a whole new level of intensity to the remake, making them unpredictable, really letting players savour that tension and enjoy the stealth experience. And with technological advances in game development today, things like lighting, atmosphere, and even the soldiers' AI could be pushed to new heights. We could have areas even where the simplest mistakes throws the entire operation into chaos. A semi-open world map would also give us a new way to approach missions. Imagine sneaking through the newly unlocked parts of Shadow Moses, discovering alternative paths, and dealing with guards in dynamic ways. Maybe even having a different environmental interactions or gadgets to utilise, or different areas where we can find weapons. The original MGS1 map was iconic, but expanding it in a remake could turn it into a living, breathing place, one that challenges players to really think through their strategies. A larger, more intricate map means which each mission would feel more layered, where every decision matters. It's exciting to think how they could pull it off while staying true to the roots that the fans love. And a lot of things that get brought up about that is the idea of having somewhat of a Ground Zero styled map, which could work pretty decent. So the question is, what could David Hayter be teasing? Fans have all sorts of theories. It could be promotional work for Metal Gear Solid Delta, or even extra content set to come with the game. Alternatively, it could be voice work for anything else, probably working alongside Konami. But anyway, I guess we'll just have to wait and see. Thank you for watching, guys. Please feel free to like the video and hit that subscribe button, and thank you for all your support. And remember, is there such thing as an absolute timeless enemy? There's no such thing, and never has been. And the reason is that our enemies are human beings just like us. They can only be our enemies in relative terms. I'm the Voice Box, and I'll see you guys later.
So think outside the box. If you're looking for in-depth videos of the greatest franchise that has profoundly impacted each and every one of us, this is the place to be. Building the future and keeping the past alive are one and the same. Thank you.